I made a video a long time ago about setting up Minecraft servers on Linux, and I did it completely through the terminal. This is just an alternative way of doing that, but instead of doing it through the terminal, we're going to be doing it through Crafty Controller. It's basically just a dashboard to manage your Minecraft servers, and you can easily install it through Docker. This video is mainly for Linux because we are using Docker, but you can install Docker on Windows and Mac, but you will lose out on performance because running Docker inside of Windows or Mac uses a Linux VM to run it. So you can still follow this guide if you want, but just keep that in mind. I just wanted to make a video on this because Crafty handles all of the dependencies since we're doing this through Docker. So to do this, I'm going to be demonstrating this on my Raspberry Pi, but if you're actually setting up a Minecraft server, it probably won't be powerful enough. But this is just for testing, so I'm just going to SSH into my Raspberry Pi, and then I'll make a folder using mkdir, and then Crafty. And the command should work on all operating systems. And then I'm going to enter this by doing cd crafty, and now we need to make a Docker compose file. So to do this, you can use whatever text editor you want. You should have Nano by default, but I'm just going to use micro and then compose.yml. Now I've just pasted the default configuration file, which I'll leave in the description. For this time zone, just change it to whatever your time zone is. I'll leave that in the description as well for the list of time zones. And basically, we're just using version 4 of the Crafty Controller. And if we look at the ports here, these are all the ports that we're exposing to our local network. This port is for accessing the web page. So if you wanted to change what port you would access the Crafty Controller dashboard from, you would change the number on the left. The number on the left is what gets exposed to your local home network, and the number on the right is what the container uses. So just don't worry about the numbers on the right. This is something separate. I think it's for viewing your world map on another page or something like that, but I'll just leave this here. And these two lines are actually exposing the ports that we're going to use for the Minecraft servers. This one's for Bedrock and this one is for Java. Here we're exposing a range of ports from 25500 to 25600. So whenever you're making a server on the dashboard, you just need to use a number that's within this range. And by default, it'll just be 25565. And then over here, we're just going to be storing some persistent data in the same folder as the Docker compose file. So you don't really need to worry about this. When we start up the container, it's going to create this Docker folder inside of the same folder. So it will store all of your servers in this Docker folder. So I'm just going to save this with Control S and then I'll exit. Now to start this container up, I'm going to do Docker compose up to start it up, -d to run it in the background, and if we ever need to restart it in the future, we'll do -- force recreate. But we're running this for the first time, so I'm just going to do this, and then I'll click enter. Now it's going to pull the Crafty image from the internet, but I've already done that, so it doesn't need to download it. But the actual container creation process only took about 10 seconds. But let's see if it's actually started yet. I'll just do Docker compose logs and then -f to see the logs. It might take some time because this Raspberry Pi is pretty slow, but once we see a message like this, we can access the Crafty Controller dashboard from our web browser. So I'm just going to open up a new tab. Like stated in the Docker compose file, it actually uses an HTTPS connection, but we don't have any SSL certs, so it's going to say it's not secure anyways. But you just have to keep in mind that whenever you try to access this page, you need to put HTTPS. And also, if you're going to try to connect this to Nginx Proxy Manager, you need to make sure you select HTTPS as well. And I'm connecting here with my hostname of my Raspberry Pi, which is just rpi4. You can use your local IP address or your hostname, and I'll put the commands on screen to get that. But anyways, just make sure you put :8443 at the end of it, and then once you click enter, and I'll just click advanced and then proceed, you'll see the login page of Crafty Controller. And you might notice that there is no sign up page. This is because it auto generates a password. And to get that default password, we're going to have to enter the container and find it. So to do that, I'm going to exit out of these logs with Control C. And I'll do docker exec, which will let us run a command, -it to run it in an interactive terminal. And then I'll type the container name. It starts with CR and I'll just do tab to autocomplete. It's crafty_container. And then bash. We're going to run this in a bash environment. So now we're just running the bash command in the Crafty container. If I type ls, we should see a bunch of these folders. And the default credentials are actually in the app folder and then config. And then it's just default creds.txt. I'm just going to do cat, which lets us read the contents of a file. Then I'll do app/config/defaultcreds.txt. And I just tap to autocomplete. Now I'll click enter, and then we can copy the contents of this password. Just make sure you don't copy the quotes, only the password. And then the default username is just admin. So I'll just go back to the web page and I'll put admin and then the password, I'll just paste it in. And we don't have an authenticator code, so I'm just going to click login. And I'll just skip this survey for now. But let's go ahead and change our default password. So to change our default password, I'm going to click on the top right arrow over here. Then I'll go to the account settings. Then I'll scroll down and click on change password. Just put something secure and then I'll just click on OK. Then I'll just X out of this and we can go back to the dashboard. but I'm going to click on create new server. You can also upload a zip file of an existing server if you have one over here. For the server type, I'll just click on Minecraft servers. And for the type of server, I highly recommend just using paper since you can select a bunch of plugins and stuff like that. You can also install the VIA version plugin, which lets you access the server from multiple Minecraft client versions. But just for this demo, I'm going to use vanilla. But it's the same exact process if you're going to do paper or something like Forge for a modded server. I'll just select vanilla and then I'll name the server like this. And then here you can set the memory that we want to allocate and the server port. You probably won't need to change this port, so I'm just going to leave it like this. And for the memory, you can just search up how much you need for the amount of players you're going to support. And then I'm going to click on build server. Then I'll click on OK. And if I scroll down, I'll see the server that I just created. I'm just going to click on this name. And then this is the server details. I'm going to scroll down and click on start. And I also need to agree to this, which is just Minecraft's license agreement. I'll just click on yes. And then just give it some time for the server to start up. And I'm doing this on a Raspberry Pi, so it's going to take quite some time. Once it says done, the server is fully up. And I'm going to launch Minecraft in Prism Launcher and just try to see if I can connect to this server. Alright, so I just loaded up vanilla Minecraft. And if I click on multiplayer, I should see my server over here. And if I just click on edit, I'll show you that this is the same server as my Raspberry Pi. I just used the host name to connect to it, it's just rpi4. It says 0 out of 20 and I'm able to connect to this server. And as you can see, it works perfectly fine. If I go up to the console, I could just opt myself. And it actually took effect on here. Now I'm just going to stop this server. There are some more useful features that you might need. Like if you scroll up and you see the terminal is selected right now, if we click on the files, we can see all of the files of this server. If you need to edit something inside of the server properties, you can just click on this and then change something. And then if you need to save your changes, you just click on this save changes button over here. I'm not going to change anything. Also, if you need to add plugins to your server, you can click on create directory and then you would just name it plugins. And then once you go into that, you can upload your plugins over here. There are also some other features, but I'm not going to go over all of them. It's mostly self-explanatory. But that is basically how you create servers on the Crafty Controller. Now you can access your Minecraft server from within your home network. However, you probably want to play with your friends and they're not going to be on your same home network. So to do that, there's two options. The first option, which is the simplest, is port forwarding. It's not too risky, but if you can go into your router settings and then port forward the port 25565 or whatever port you chose, you can forward all requests to your server. And then your friends can join your Minecraft server by using your public IP address, which you can get from searching online for what your public IP address is. So that's option number one. The second option is by using playit.gg. Playit.gg is a reverse proxy for game servers, and you can run it for completely free. I made a video on this and it's not too hard to set up. So you would just need to run an extra Playit client on your server computer, and people will be able to join your server by using the reverse proxy. So no request actually directly connects to your server. Playit.gg will act as a middleman. Some people might prefer this because it's more safe, but also if your ISP uses CGNAT, you probably won't have port forwarding. So these are the two options to allow your friends to join from anywhere in the world. So if this video worked for you, please leave a like and subscribe. And if you ran into any issues while setting this up, please leave it down in the comments below and I'll try to respond as fast as possible. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video.